Hello, everyone. Welcome in. It's your girl, yes, Sane Betty Mitchell, also known as Savvy Sane in these digital streets, coming to you all today. Yes, and no, it's Easter. It is Easter. Happy Resurrection Sunday. I hope you all have had an amazing and blessed day. Not even that, a blessed and happy, fun filled, sassy, sexy weekend, whatever it is. And wherever you are chiming in from, let me know. Drop your name, drop your city, drop your state. Also, if you have a business, go ahead and drop your business because you never know who may pop in and out of these rooms, right? That you may be able to connect with. That somebody be like, you know what? I need to be working with this person. So this is that type of environment, right? We're here to support one another as entrepreneurs and just as humans. We are human, right? And we all are in need of something as far as just connection and just being able to be there for each other. So that's what this is about. Video cliff notes for entrepreneurs. Because the thing is, we are so busy. And the thing is, we have resources all around us, right? Especially now with the internet, okay? And things easily to be able to be accessed. Not only that is it is resources out here, but it's also even people. And it's some of the same people who may have already conquered some of the things that we may be facing. And all we need is that information to get us to that next step. And that's what Video Cliff Notes for Entrepreneurs is all about. It's about finding these resources. And currently, right now, I'm reading the book The One Thing by Gary Keller, you all. And the thing is that have you ever, I don't know if you're good. Do you feel like you're good at asking questions? Do you ask the right question? Like, have you ever thought about that? Like, I ask questions, but isn't even the right question. I don't know if y'all been in, like back in school, and some of y'all may even be in school right now, right? Have you been in school and you be like, somebody asked a question, you're like, why did they ask you that question? Or it's something that maybe the teacher already even went over it, and it's like she just answered that. Why is this person asking this question, right? And they always say, no question is a dumb question. But what I'm learning, especially in chapters 11 and to going into chapter 12, is that actually there are different qualities of questions that we need to even be considering on asking, right? So my mentor, Trevor Otts, always says, powerful people ask powerful questions. And because questions their focus, right? And so the thing is, it's like, how can we truly focus in and ask the right question if we don't even know how to pose this question? And so that is where chapter 11 and chapter 12 was about. And so yesterday I was talking about chapter 10 is called the focusing question. And it was really going into how do you even start to learn or understand how to focus in on or create this focusing question. And at the end of chapter 10, it was like, ask the wrong question, can even lead you to the first misstep. It's all about the power or the answer to the success, right? How do you get success? And it's really just by making that first step. And so, but that first step could also be a misstep if we don't have enough information or ask the right questions to even get that first step. Now, don't think about this and say, oh my gosh, I'm not going to move. No, it's not like that. You still need to move, right? But it's now getting the information that you even need so that you can acquire enough, say, feedback back, or get the right answers back to be able to successfully make that first step and make your first step something that is going to push you forward and not backwards. That's the whole point, right? We don't want to start off, going backwards. We want two-step. If we could, we want two-step it instead of one step in it, right? And we want to step one step, two-step it forward. And so that's where it was. It's like, it's about the target. What is the target we have to focus on to really ask that right question? And so when it came to the focusing question is really getting more, thinking about it in a large perspective, but then also honing in on some specific time frames. And so they also broke it down into, we have to really segment things, even in our world or in our life, into different pillars. And then that helps to be able to focus. Hi, Tina. Thank you for joining. Hi, Maritza. Thank you for joining in. Tina, I see you're from Greensboro, North Carolina. And funny thing is, I just drove through Greensboro, North Carolina. I was in Cary, North Carolina this week for a job. So I had to quickly come back in. But you know what? I'm going to be coming through North Carolina again soon. So hopefully maybe I will be able to cross paths. But yeah, so the thing is yeah, definitely how to be able to structure the question, and then by even creating these pillars, right? That's what I was saying. So we got to segment our life into these different focusing pillars, which will help us to be able to get success in these different areas. And they broke it up as like pillars that pertain to your spiritual health, your personal health, relationships. So your personal relationships that you have, like with family, friends, and then also they separate it into job, business, and financial. Now that was the example that they used, that the author separated his in. That doesn't mean that you have to. You can have other pillars as well. And that's what I challenged everyone with yesterday. I said, create those pillars in your life now, then that way we can start focusing. Because the thing is, when we say we want success, it's not just one success. That's the thing. Success is really broken down into the different components of our life. And that's why it feels so overwhelming when we're trying to go after success and we're not able to really reach it because it's too big. It's too big for us to hold all in one. And so, because we have to be able to focus on one of these at a time. And of course, earlier in the book, that's what we were talking about. There's no way possible that you can equally put in enough effort and time to focus on more than one thing. There's no way. You can only focus on one thing at a time. Now, even if we can multitask, even in the sense of multitasking, I gave that example of sometimes like we're talking and we're talking on the phone and we're driving, and then how many times have we missed our exit or missed our turn because we couldn't focus. We got too focused on either that conversation and we didn't really focus on where we were going. And so we missed out. And so that's the same thing with anything. We can't focus 100% equally on anything. There's always going to be some level where something is going to take priority over another. Okay, so back to these focusing questions. That's why the pillars come into place. So we can actually start to now focus in on specific things that we can address. And those are the cornerstones of our life. So in chapter 12, it is called The Path to Great Answers, right? So once we realize we have to have a focusing question, and that focusing question starts to, like I said, hone in. And so, like if you take your personal health, what a focusing question would be is, well, what is the one thing that I can do to eat better in the next week? That would be a focusing question, right? We took something broad of our overall health, but we got a little bit more specific about what we're eating or our lifestyle. Then we got even more specific about putting the time frame of it. What is the one thing I can do in this next week to be able to, eat better? Okay, so that's what I mean by a focusing question. So in 12, those focusing questions now lead to our path to get to great answers, right? And so one of the opening statements in the book, it was saying people do not decide their future. What they decide on is their habits, right? And their habits is really what dictates your future. And if you look at it, that's where we were talking about going back and doing some of the research of some of the people who are successful, some of the people that we may be looking at and be like, or that's the kind of success I really want. Okay, well, we need to see what did they actually do, okay, to be able to get there. So it's nothing about microwave instant success access or anything like that. it takes time and it takes work. Okay. So they put in the work somewhere along the line. They put in the work and they got the specific questions. And the thing is, the more focused probably their questions are, the less steps that they had to do. And that's the trick to it. So the better we pose the questions and we can get more specific, then that's how we get to these answers. And so they even broke it down even more. So chapter 12, I was like, oh my God, how can we talk about the one thing even more? Y'all look at me. I'm ashy. I was cleaning and oh my God, this is bad. I was washing my hands in soap and I got some paint stains. Yeah, I was scrubbing my baseboards and my window sills because it's spring. And sometimes we neglect things. We neglect things, right? And kind of jumping into just a quick little synopsis. So I used and I applied the one thing today, right, into my personal life. I was like, okay, I've been neglecting this little area in my kitchen. A couple of weeks ago, I took out my little bar stools because I wanted to clean the floor underneath where the my little my little island, right? So I had some bar stools and behind it because, of course, it's springtime and I had opened the window. Of course, I'm in the southeast. We have pollen everywhere, y'all. With pollen, yellow stuff. So the trees, and I have trees everywhere. So anyway, so of course you open the window, some of the pollen starts to come in and it settles. And you're looking and like, oh, even though if I wasn't, necessarily eating there, I noticed a film. So that means I was like, okay, well, yeah, we went through what fall and yeah, you can sweep or whatever, you can mop, but over time too, if you're just cooking in an environment, probably the oils and stuff in the air start to settle, and then you get some more debris and stuff, and it starts settling in it. So anyway, I said, okay, this means I have to do a deep cleaning. So of course, I go over there and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be quick. I'm just gonna take it out, I'm gonna clean. But when I go over there, I look around. I'm like, oh, well, the windowsills are dirty, and they got little pollen, starting to cake up on it. And then I look, and I'm like, oh, and my blinds are dirty. I need to clean the blinds too. And then I'll open the blinds. Oh, and the windows, they got little smudges on them. So it starts to add up, and it's like I feel so overwhelmed. So I took out the chairs. So the chairs have been sitting in the front of my door, like in the living room area. Now they're out of place and they're in my way because I haven't been able to get back to doing it because I just got overwhelmed with all the other stuff I have to do. So today I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this philosophy that I've been learning in the one thing and ask my question. What is the one thing I can do today to be able to focus on trying to at least get my chairs back? That was also the thing. Get the chairs out of the way and get them back in the kitchen, right? And so I was like, okay, well, that means I need to start with what's the hardest thing. I was like, it's dusting the blinds and wiping them down, right? And of course, anybody knows I had a cleaning business for almost 10 years. And so that's the one area that I say that is the most neglected in almost everybody's home is the windows. The windows, the place that we actually see through, right? That gives us the vision, to be able to see out our house and even for people to be able to see back in, right? And see who you are. But that's that's the place, right? And so I was like, okay, I need to be able to clean these windows and do all of this. So I need to start with the blinds. Then, okay, I started with the blinds. I literally sprayed them down, wiped them down because even some of the dust, it wasn't like coming off just with a duster, or a rag. So I had to get my elbows, y'all, in it. That's why my elbows looking like this. So I had to get my elbows in it, and I'm going to scrub the thing so much. The blinds started, like the paint that was on the little metal blinds, I guess, I started eating away. I was cleaning out. And so I got them clean. And then of course now I was like, okay, well, I got the blinds clean. That wasn't just it. I was like, now I had the momentum. I was like, all right, I'm in it. Got the window sills clean, got the windows, pulled all of that up, got the windows all nice, sparkling clear. So it was a bird trying to fly in. He thought it was crystal clear now. He didn't even know it was a window there. And so did that. And then I was like, you know what? I looked down, I'm like, them baseboards need some work. So I was like, got in there, scrubbing them baseboards. They look all brand new, white, sparkling, like a pair of nice little veneers, right? A nice new pair of veneers. And so I did that. And then after I did my baseboards, y'all, then I was like, you know what? I'm already here. The one thing I wanted to do was clean the floor. So I was like, the baseboard's done. It's time to scrub my floor and get that cleaned up. And then, you know what? I was like, all right, now it's time to put the chairs back. But then when I noticed the chairs, I was like, you know what? So y'all know that when you buy really good furniture too, they tell you like the wood, they say over time you got to go in there and screw the screws back. And then sometimes if you don't do that, that's when the little bar might fall off. You know, your little foot bars and stuff fall off the chairs and stuff because they get weak. And those are the things. Sometimes we neglect little things in our life, and then over time, it's the stuff breaks, right? The stuff that we can actually maintain, it breaks. It breaks it down. So I was like, you know what? Before I put these chairs back, this is what I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to tighten up these little screws. I was like, even though it took a minute, I had to go find my little screwdriver. I even had to find some extra screws and be able to put back in. I even had one that the cushion was coming off the bottom of the seat because the other screws had loosened up and it made the cushion a little loose, and then all the screws fell out. Who knows where all the screws? I had kept them for some time. But anyway, long story short, found the screws, put the seats back in there, got everything together, and I was able to put the chairs back. I accomplished what I wanted to do. And it only took me like maybe say 2 hours, 2.5 hours at most to be able to get everything done that I've been putting off for like 2 weeks. I know I said that a lot, but anyway, so this philosophy doesn't work because I use the same question today. What can I do today to be able to attack my kitchen and get it back to where what I needed to do and get those chairs on my living room and back where they were supposed to be, right? Well, I got going and it gave me the momentum to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And that's what this thing is about. The one thing is about focusing in. So what is that focusing question that you need to be asking for something? What create or choose one of those pillars in your life. If it's a personal, if it's job, if it's business, if it's spiritual, if it's relationships, if it's financial, what is the one thing that you can ask today that you can actually get started in? So I asked the question today and I got a result today. So that's one less thing off my plate that I don't have to worry about, that I kept putting off because I didn't even know how to attack it, right? Because it looked too big. You know, I'm like, oh my God, I got to do the blocks. Oh my God, I got to do the window sills. Oh my gosh, right? So how many times do we feel flustered because it looks too big for us to attack? So that's why even on, so chapter 12 is about the path to great answers, right? And so they have, remember I told y'all, they have a website too called The One Thing. It's the number one, the thing.com, and you can go there and they have resources, but they also have some kind of like they have some like graphics and a matrix and stuff like that that go along with the book as well. And so you can go there and take a look at it. So in chapter 12, it was talking about, it was like figure 18. It was called the Great Matrix, the Great Question Matrix. And it breaks out how you can segment questions into like different categories. And I'm like, wow. So now I can really learn how to even ask the right question. And so they talked about you can ask questions that are small and specific. You can ask questions that are small and broad. You can also ask big and broad. But what you really want to get down to is asking a question that is big and specific, they said. Okay. And they kind of break down and gave some examples of each one of those type of categories. But when you go down to the final question, or something that's big and specific, it was like, what can I do to double my sales in 6 months? Like it gives you the broad of what you're trying to do, or the big overall goal is you want to double your sales. And then it gives you the specifics. How do I do this in 6 months? Okay, so that's what the focusing question will lead to. And then, so all of that has the elements of the great question. And then, of course, great questions lead to a big and specific answer. And that's what we really want to be able to achieve or get the extraordinary results that we really want in our life. So then it goes down to, what is the heart of that success that we want to be able to do? What it really matters in that? And so that's where it starts to say, where you apply the focusing question is, what is the one thing I can do to double my sales in 6 months so that everything else is easier or unnecessary? Okay, that's where we're really trying to get to. So this is all building up into that. Okay. And so that's where we are. So I know that's a lot, but then that when you look at it, it's like, okay, this is how we get to the result. We keep putting things out. How many times we know we need to fix some things in our personal life or even in our business, and we kind of just sweep it under the rug. Oh yeah, I need to write um 52 emails, that go out to my community for the whole year. Well, guess what? 1 week goes by, the next week goes by, you still ain't writing those emails. So it's like, okay, well, what is the one thing I can do today to start to write those emails? Even if you say, I'm going to just write out the 52, as far as like your accelerating a movement through the year. What do you want to start with your community to where you would like to have them in the 52 weeks? That could be your first thing. You're not even starting on just doing the emails. You have to break it down to something that is attainable also. And so that's where even on the into chapter 12, it starts to break it down into, well, to be able to find a great answer, you have to be able to break down what is doable, which questions will really stretch you, or which answers are doable, which answers will stretch you, and which answers are a possibility, right? And so, they kind of started breaking those down, as something that's doable, as something that's within your reach. Like, it's a part of your skills. You know how to just jump in there. You know how to do it. But something that is a stretch, of course, is going to it's a little further out of your reach, but it's within your range, right? It's a little bit further. It's gonna be at the very end of your stretch, but it's something that you can still be able to do. Now, it may take you to be able to do some research or ask additional questions, or read something, to learn what you need to do, but it's still within your range of doing it. And of course, a possibility is something that you may have to do additional research, or it may take someone else to come in to even do that, that task for you. But the thing is, it can still be done. It's possible. It can still get done. And so that's how we want to start to even look. So that's where I'm going to leave us today. I know I shared a lot, and I try not to stay with you all today. And of course, today is Easter. It's Resurrection Sunday, and I know you all are y'all are just finished with family. Some of y'all are probably still with family, or you're preparing for your upcoming week. And so whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to really just start to focus on one thing that you can do this week that can change something that's been on your mind that you need to get done. I know I got a list of them, right? So yeah, start creating your list, or start creating your pillars, and start creating your focusing questions to be able to get the result from each one of those pillars, whatever the number one thing that you really need to address in each one of those areas. And then we're going to start pick on one of those pillars and focus in on it, right? You're not picking up all of them. One thing, one pillar, and one thing that you need to address within that pillar, and then what one thing that you can do this week to be able to address that situation by asking yourself that focusing question. And of course, you're going to fill in the blank. So what is the one thing I can do to blank in blank time, or this 1 week? What is the one thing I can do in this blank, right? In this 1 week, in this week, so that everything else is easier or unnecessary. Okay, so I'm leaving you all with there, right there. And I'm going to say you all have a wonderful and blessed week. Don't forget, touch bases. Let me know what it is, what you're working on. And also I'll be coming back live. We're going to keep on going. We're almost at the end of this book, y'all. We are almost at the end. And so I'm going to be putting together some take home like little notes and that you all can just refer back to. And I'm going to break them down into the different segments that I came in here to talk to make it even easier. So y'all don't even have to read the book. I'm reading the book for y'all, right? So we learn it together. I'm doing the work. So all I want y'all to do is just come in and participate. Share what you're doing and share how this can you can use this in your life, in your personal life, or in your business, or in your job, wherever it is. Anywhere in those pillars that we talked about: spiritual, personal health, relationships, business, jobs, and financial. Okay, so thank you all for joining in. To all my TikTok family, my Instagram family, my LinkedIn, my YouTube, and my Facebook family. I love you all and have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day.